Physically imposing 6'7", Tommy Finnegan helped push Ocean City to its first state title ever in 2021, returning from an injury to win 3 games during the state tournament, including the semifinal against Colsneck. Finnegan marked himself as one of the state's pitchers to watch in 2022. We sit down with the Jersey Mound Giant himself, Tommy Finnegan, on our next edition of JBS Generation Next.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage.
Welcome back to today's Generation Next, our chance to sit down with a number of the top New Jersey high school stars heading into the 2022 season and talk to about their college decisions and what kind of awaits beyond the high school year as well. And we are lucky to have Tommy Finnegan, Ocean City High School, about to, as you can see, commit to St. John's University. And welcome, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So give us the first of all, start with the rundown on how we ended up kind of St. John's. Talk about your excitement there and just kind of give us the scoop on what awaits here for you.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm really, really excited to be staying close to home, but really be playing in a competitive baseball league. And especially when I was going through the recruitment process, looking at schools closer to home, and my parents were really, really happy about that. So my dad's pretty close to retirement, and my mom, they're ecstatic to be able to come see me throw in games and not have to take a plane to go watch some games. So just hop in a car and get up there and still play really competitive baseball and have a chance to show my skills against a lot of really good athletes in the Northeast. So
yeah, and the Big East, I guess I was talking recently with Coach Shepard over at Seton Hall about this, but it doesn't really get the respect and the attention that really it's kind of grown to deserve, because obviously St. John's and Seton Hall have been good programs, but you add like a Creighton to it and a Butler, and now we add UConn back into it.
Yeah.
And
that UConn ad was huge. I mean, they're a really, really good program. So that's definitely going to be another really hard series every year on the schedule. So
yeah, probably no Reggie Crawford by the time you get there. He probably will be cashing in some big checks, but always an awesome program, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So was that, because I know you had options in various parts of the country during the recruitment process, was the ultimate factor then for you the ability to play, high level baseball and do it relatively close to home, not too close. You don't want, maybe, but get away a little bit, but certainly, within traveling distance for family, for anybody who would come up and watch you too.
No, definitely. I mean, it was definitely part of the process, saying like, I have a huge family base down here in South Jersey. Kind of all my close family is from the area. So the opportunity to be playing like a really nice stadiums every weekend and play against the top level talent, but still be driving distance away from home so my family can come up and watch. And obviously the big part of the recruiting process was we have a history of like the Ocean City guys going to St. John's. Sean Mooney went there, and once I was going through the recruiting and all, he was lighting up my text messages, kind of telling me all things and stuff, which is great because it helped me tremendously. Having a person who went there, had a really successful career, same high school and everything,
yeah.
I was having success in pro ball, it was definitely a selling factor, because I have tremendous respect for Sean. I mean, we trained together in the off season, and he was like my coach for a little bit. So coming from him, I knew it was like a trustworthy source. And then once I got up there, it was a no-brainer. I mean, the coaches treated me like I was one of their players already, just giving me like even some criticism throughout my outing, which was great. I mean, you don't see a lot of coaches kind of telling you like, oh, you're cutting the ball a little bit or stay through the ball and stuff like that when they're trying to get recruited. But like that was really big for me, being like, yeah, I mean, he's not just going to tell me everything I want to hear. He's going to tell me the things I need to work on so I can become a better player. So It was, I mean, I want to say it was a no doubt situation. Once I got up there to campus and I talked to the alumni, I was even able to talk to a bunch of guys who are there now and who are very successful in the program now as pitchers. And just what they said about the program just makes me want to be there and just makes me want to compete for a Big East championship. So
Such a great history. I don't know. I mean, even going back, 40, 50 years and the College World Series teams in the 60s and 70s, and
sure.
just it's just always been really good baseball. And to be on the Sean Mooney career path to success is not a bad thing either, right?
Oh, definitely. Especially being from high school and all that, going through that or going to the same college, it's pretty cool. So
Definitely. So you're a big BPC guy, right? And a big guy, first of all, right? Every bit of 6'6", 6'7", right?
I'm 6'7", and I'm like 220, 225 pounds.
So, mechanically, a lot more moving parts than somebody 6 foot or 6'1".
Yeah, sure.
Talk to us and explain to us how big of an impact BPC's had in your development from a mechanic standpoint, from a movement standpoint, to really get you ready for the next level.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like the best thing that's happened for South Jersey baseball and ever. I mean, it gives a chance for all the top level players to go to one place, all compete against each other, and ultimately just have one-on-one contact too. So, I mean, between Mike Adams, DeChico, and Jay Gorman, all the guys that are there that are trainers. I mean, you'll get individual time every single time you go there. So like, even if it's just your warm up, be like, yo, dude, you're not doing that right. Like, get it right, and they'll clean up some other things. So like, they definitely get on you about that stuff, and it's only because they want to see you succeed. So I've been going there ever since I was 13 years old, and I'm 18 years old now. So I've been there for a long time. So they've seen me grow throughout the years. They've seen me grow physically and as a person. So like, it's good to kind of see like, yeah, this is where we were last year. This is where we are now. And like, just little things. So if it's like off season, all right, we're going to work on these things. And if it's in season, be like, all right, we're going to do these little tweaks. But just having people who kind of know you better than you know yourself mechanically and on the mound and stuff, it's great, because even some things that you don't pick up on, they see. And yeah, definitely being a bigger guy. I mean, there's a lot more room for error. So like, one little tweak of you're not snapping your back hip early enough or something like that, or whatever, your shoulder hip extension isn't the same and stuff like that, or the separation. But it's a lot more like easier to see in video. So like, when you break down slow motion video and you see it, it's pretty easy to like kind of see like, all right, we need to fix this up. And I mean, they're better than anyone at it. So they see things and you're like, oh, I thought I was doing that right. And they're like, you're
Right.
not. And then you do it right, and it feels a lot better. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I wouldn't go to anywhere else if I had the opportunity.
Yeah, camera doesn't lie ever, no matter
Yeah.
what we do, right?
Yep. It
Yeah.
is your friend, but sometimes it's not your friend. So
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Ocean City, fantastic tradition of great baseball. So before we move you too quickly into college, we know we obviously got another year left, and if it's a typical Ocean City year, going to be in contention for a lot of fun in the postseason. What are your goals for your last year of high school?
I want to win another state championship. I mean, this past year for high school baseball was the best year of baseball I've ever played in my life. I mean, especially because we started a little later, which was nice. We kind of cut out that first month.
Nobody
Brutal.
likes March anyway.
Yeah. So sweatpants and a winter jacket, trying to like take IO and hit BP, hands are stinging. So took that out. We got pretty good weather. And really the only thing that I would change about this year is that we didn't get to take our Florida trip, which is always a blast. I mean, we go to St. Petersburg. So I went there my freshman year and wasn't able to go sophomore year or this year. But the plan is we're going back. So that's always a great time. But I mean, this year was a phenomenal year. It made me grow so much as a person and player. So like, being a position player, and I haven't really played a position in baseball other than pitching in a while. So it kind of taught me to be more in the game. So like, when you're not pitching, you're in the field and you have to make plays, you have to get timely hits. And it was the greatest season of baseball I've ever played. And to kind of go through all that and get to the final thing that the coaches have been talking about ever since I got to Ocean City, of being like, our goal is to win a state championship. In the beginning of the year, you're like, all right, yeah, that would be really cool to win a state championship. Is it like, whatever, that's so far, that's such a stretch. But like when you actually get down to it, like I'm pitching against Colts Neck in the state semifinal, going to the final, and you're like up in the last inning, and you're like, oh my God, we're actually going to win, and we're going to the state championship. So it kind of set in every single game we won. So like we won our first playoff game. It was like, all right, now we're on to the next. Now we're on to the next. So it was tremendous. It was amazing. But yeah, I want to go back out there, and just like the excitement it gave the whole community, the whole baseball community. I mean, it's never been done. So all these guys who have been coming to Ocean City baseball games forever and have never seen us win a state championship, to just see the joy on all of our like fan bases, like faces when we finally won it and we finally did it, it was tremendous. And to know that I have another year with a squad that I really think we can go all the way and do it again, it just gets me fired up, and I want to get past these winter months and get back to it.
Only thing better than winning one state title is winning two, right?
Oh yeah, it would be a tremendous way to go out, but I think there's a lot of room to improve from last year. I mean, we have a lot of young guys coming up who are going to have to fill the places of the guys who graduated. And I mean, we have a bunch of new guys in BPC this year. And when you have 4 or 5 BPC guys or Ocean City guys training at BPC every day, it definitely gives you hope, because it means they all want to get after it. They all want to see the field next year and win a lot of games. So yeah, I'm really excited to have another year.
You got pretty good top of your rotation, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm really excited.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's going to kind of be your last go around doing, and we both kind of know, is getting to swing the bat. So
yeah,
you've like any pitcher who gets the hit, you take a little bit of pride in getting the swing. And
for sure.
At this point, what's more, what would get you more excited? A regular season shutout or a regular season home run?
I don't know. It depends on the game. But I mean, when you play mainland in the regular season, you throw a shutout. That's pretty cool. You also hit a home run, and it's really cool too. So I don't know. That's a really close one. I would say definitely a shutout more, because it's more of like a long stretch type thing. So you can't really throw you can't throw a shutout in one inning. So when you hit a home run, it's just one, and then the whatever, like the hype goes away, and then you move on to the next inning. But when you throw a shutout, I mean, you're working for 2+ hours on getting these guys out, going through the lineup 2-3 times, and really just trying to like just hammer these guys in with like the same pitches. So you just got to mix up their eye level, stuff like that. So I mean, it's great. I love pitching so much, and then hitting is just a plus when it comes to high school. I get to get up there, hit in the cleanup spot, have guys on base, and have the team look up to me to get big hits and drive runners in. I just love being out there. High school baseball, I think, is the best baseball. I mean, playing for like the school and the community. I mean, the town I grew up in, and then finally like winning games, winning a state championship. There's nothing like it. And I'm also saying this before I get to college, so that's probably gonna be amazing too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Competing for a Big East title might but
Might
still,
help.
I mean, that excitement, is that, have you always felt that way about the game? I mean, is that growing up? Has baseball always been your number one?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a multi-sport athlete my whole life. I mean, anything really with a ball, I'll go out. If my buddy wants to go play soccer, I'll go try that too. But no, I've always been a multi-sport guy. So I played basketball my first 3 years of high school, and I played football when I was younger, all that type of stuff. I surf. Probably my second favorite thing to do is surf too. So like that,
Really?
yeah. So
Well, I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me based on where you are that is, but you just not seeing a lot of 6'7" surfers, the whole center of gravity thing has got to be like.
Yeah. But I mean, there's really no way around it when you live like 2 blocks from the ocean. So
You have no choice. That's right. What were you first, baseball player or in the water?
probably baseball, honestly. It went hand in hand. Whenever I wasn't playing baseball in the summer, I'd be at the beach. But it's amazing. So
Biggest impact on your career to this point?
I want to say my dad. I mean, he's the one who put the ball in my hand for the first time. So I mean, definitely him. I mean, if he wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be playing. But my mom, she was a star softball player in high school as well. She was really good. So she definitely, I had a great like support base. So, I mean, whatever I wanted to do, whatever travel team it was, whatever, how much money it was, how far it was, they were always just pushing me in the direction I wanted to be in. So they never said like, you have to go to this. It was like, oh, you want to play here? All right. Yeah, we'll send you there if that means it'll be best for you. So yeah, I mean, definitely my mom and dad were my two biggest supporters throughout my career.
Um, we got 4 or 5 months until high school baseball starts up, and I know that's going to be a painfully slow winter for you, but it's, an important part of your development too, right? To not only star this year for Ocean City, but also put yourself in the best position in college to succeed and, hopefully someday go beyond that.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
your plan? What's your plan as far as like what areas do we really want to focus on this off season to get better?
Yeah, it's always a long season, especially when you play summer ball and stuff like that. So you start in March when you're really throwing in games, and you don't end some guys until 2 days ago when they finish up in Jupiter. So like throwing through all that, it's definitely a long, grueling time of throwing, and just you're beating up your body pretty bad. So like, I mean, just like a car, I mean, you got to get your oil changed, you got to get back in the shop and like just fix some things up. Say your mechanics slipped up a little bit throughout the season, got to fix them up, and ultimately back in the weight room. I mean, you got to get stronger so your muscles can go the distance in the next year for the high school season leading up to summer ball. So yeah, I'd say definitely this off season, my main goals are just kind of just get stronger in the right places, just be able to move better, mobility, just really like focus on mobility. Because when sometimes you can get carried away in the weight room when you're just throwing around big weight and then your muscles get tightened up. So definitely staying mobile, especially being my height. When you get tight, it's tough to get in the positions you want to be in. And then you just are working a more arm, and that just leads to no good things. So yeah, I think this offseason I'm really, really excited for this offseason because we got a lot of guys working to get better and stuff like that for next season. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for next offseason.
So you mentioned obviously the importance of movement. I mean, I guess there's probably no better example than Mr. BPC, right? Mike Adams.
Yeah.
Not a big guy who's
Yeah.
not, pumping 500 or anything like that in the weight room is, but, to have somebody like that, to kind of like look up to, work towards, follow that example, what's he meant to you? And were you pretty excited to see his success this year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've known Mike ever since I started going to BPC, and we've become more than just like a player coach type thing. I mean, we've become like really good friends. Anything that is kind of like bothering me with baseball, I'll be like, I'm not doing this right. He'll be like, all right, well, we'll work on it and stuff like that throughout college, and kind of just leading me in the right direction of being like, I think this school will be the best fit for you, and just things like that. So Mike has had a huge part in my baseball development over in the last like latest part of my career once it start getting into like bigger, better baseball. So yeah, I mean, especially working with Mike, he's not like a super tall guy where it's just like
Right.
look up on the mound and it looks like he's just whatever. He's like 6'5", like 6'7". He's a smaller guy in pitching terms, but when you look at him, like he's just so explosive. Like his arm moves so fast, and you even go like golfing with the guy and he'll out drive everyone, and he just like swings it so fast. But it's like, no, definitely. I mean, learning from him and then like watching him throw, it's like if I move half as fast as that, I'd throw in
Right.
really because of my size and the strength and stuff like that. So definitely having him has helped me tremendously as a player.
Yep. So let's hit some of the really important questions. Game day, playlist. What do we listen to get ready for games?
I don't know. I've become almost like not locking in completely before games, kind of just like having my headphones out and like becoming just like pretty social with my guys. Like if I have like a night game, I'm not going to wake up and not talk to anybody all day. Like I did a few times in high school season where I throw my AirPods in before games, and then I'm just like, all right, this is a team game. Like how am I not going to talk to my team before I go try and win as a team? So I don't really have the AirPods in or anything listening, but during the day, I mean, I'll listen to like whatever hip hop, rap. I'll listen to country music. I'm pretty like a lax guy when it comes to all that, but Yeah, I mean, I try like when I just go through my warm up, I probably talk to myself a lot. I don't even realize just little self motivation stuff. But yeah, so I'll just go through my normal routine. It's pretty standard, and then just go throw. But I'm not a big like music before like on the bus ride to the game or
Right.
whatever. A long bus ride, I'll throw my AirPods in. But like other than that, I'm pretty lackadaisical and just kind of moving. And then once it gets to like an hour before the game, I'll lock in, and I probably wouldn't come near me to talk to me. I'm pretty.
Right. Very, very starting pitcherish. Get out of my space when my routine starts.
But once, I mean, before that hour, I'm pretty
Yeah.
normal doing the bus ride there. I mean, it's tough to not talk to all your best friends, and you
Right.
guys are on the bus ride to like a state semifinal game. It's
Right.
awesome.
You
Oh,
want to share it. Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Um, if you could be D1 in any other sport, what would it be?
I'd say football. I'd probably say football. I mean, watching college, I love watching college football with like my dad and my buddies and stuff. And it's just, I mean, how would you not want to play at like Penn State or something at like a whiteout game?
Yeah.
Probably pretty cool playing basketball, but football, it's like a shorter season and you're playing in front of like 100
100,000.
plus people every game for some of these bigger schools. It's like, I don't know how you would ever pass up that opportunity. But yeah, that would probably be my second option.
Proudest moment on the field.
Winning the state championship, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a crazy game. It went 14 innings. It was like, I don't even know how many hours. It was probably upwards of like 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. And it was like the hottest day of the summer yet so far. I mean, it felt like it was 120 degrees out there at Veterans Park and up, I forget where it was, but I mean, we started the game pretty early, and by the time we got done and we were in the bus, it was like getting dark. And I'm like, I feel like it was just morning. We were on the bus at 6 in the morning going up to the field. So that was definitely my proudest moment, just because we all worked so hard to get there, and like to finally hold up that trophy and see the joy on all of our coaches' faces who've been around our program for so long, working towards this one goal. Was just that was definitely my proudest moment.
I feel like to do something like that with all your best friends from, at a school like Ocean City from childhood, it's got to be real, because I've been part of like state title Legion teams too. It's kind of the same way. It's all the small town, small town team, and it's just guys that you played with for 10 years. I mean, that kind of the feeling, like just to be able to do it with all your boys.
I mean, definitely. One of my best friends, Gannon Brady, lives literally like a few blocks away.
Not
Yeah.
too bad of a player either, right?
No, yeah. So I mean, pretty much growing up with him, I mean, we became like best friends back in like 8th grade. So like going through that and then just being with them every single day in school, hanging out with them on the weekends, and then finally going competing in front of thousands of people to win a state championship is just so special. And especially Matt Noonan, like one of my best friends since I was in like 4th grade, 5th grade, like being able to finally go, like things we're talking about our whole life, being like, oh, we're going to be juniors, seniors in high school, like got to win a state championship and stuff like that. And even seeing like that 2016 team where they won like the South Jersey championship and got to the state championship and didn't end up winning. And then seeing us get there and like these guys sending us texts, and Mooney was sending me texts being like, listen, do what I didn't, and stuff like that was just like pretty cool, because like those guys growing up are like, like legends. Like they won the South Jersey championship. It was like the coolest thing ever, of like these guys like competing for a state championship, and like us being in it. I know there's little kids looking at us like, oh my God, they're in the state championship and they won. Like it was definitely cool. So it was almost like a me winking back at my younger self, being like, we did it. So that was definitely awesome.
Last really important question: iPhone app that you couldn't do without.
I'd probably say Snapchat, honestly, because I talk to a lot of people, all my buddies. So you can have group chats whenever there's a football game on. They'll just be lighting up the group chat with, you see this guy get hurt, stuff like that. So definitely, I can keep in contact with all my buddies, my family, and stuff like that. Especially when I go away for college next year, it's gonna be nice to like talk to my younger brother, my sister, my mom, my dad through that. But yeah, I mean, iPhone is a pretty useful tool, so you can FaceTime anyone. So, but it won't be as bad for my mom when I go away next year. She'll be able to call me, time I went, which I don't know if that's the best thing in the world, but no, I'm
How
I'm
soon
very
did you change your number?
yeah. No,
Uh,
yeah, probably Snapchat, just because even since my buddies went away for college, I feel like I talk to them more now than I ever did when we were all together. Just because
yeah,
it's like we want to see each other succeed. I mean, Matt Noon's up at Boston College and Gannon's at Fordham, and
yeah,
we're all just asking, "What'd you guys do at practice today? Like, what are you working on mechanically? Like, how's the pitching coach? What's he like? What are his like big philosophies?" So like just talking about that with guys who are already in college and kind of going those first steps is definitely good for me when I get to school next year, and I kind of know the things to expect.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yep,
Tommy Finnegan again, St. John's commit for a 2022 Ocean City grad. Best of luck this year in high school. Certainly appreciate you taking the time to connect with us. And let's get back to back this year.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Awesome.